Hello everyone, my name is Cetus and welcome back to my Let's Play of Stellaris Hegemony run. We are trying to unify the galaxy as one hegemony. So far not much has happened. I spent a lot of time explaining race picking stuff and how Federation stuff works. And now we're trying to expand. We pick the origin where we began as a hegemony. And so we have two allies. The northern one is a megacorp, and the other one is just another empire like what we are. And we are trying, as we speak, to expand down. We're gonna unpause and get things moving, because right now we're just surveying these two systems so we can claim them as ours, because we're gonna try and go down this path.
Star system charted.
There's a fully survey. So one of our scientists has found an anomaly. Now researching these is very useful, but this is a very difficult one and would take a very long time for him to do. And for now we kind of want to explore and see what's out there. So for now we're going to leave it be. And this one is now... Oh, and we have this graveyard. I will actually research the ship graveyard and see if we can find anything from it. And then my constructor is going to build a star base to lay claim to the system of Regal. And then we'll keep letting these things go along. Our capital is still doing fine. Unfortunately, our race grows a little bit slower. They're slow breeders, so they have a minus 10% modifier. And we're just waiting for it to grow a little bit and expand. And then we'll talk about more of the planet stuff later when we actually have to do something on it. So that's claimed. We're gonna build the one mining station for the one energy credit, which is not impressive, but hey, we'll take it. A construction ship might as well do something while we wait for this next planet to be surveyed. We're still losing XP, but we're gaining cohesion, so that will go away soon. So we explored the graveyard. The team under Science Officer Rog has finished the expedition of Riga 1 and returned. Thankfully, the starship graveyard on the surface proved to be a technological treasure. Studying the remains of the alien vegetables has advanced our research. So what is this going to give us? Permanent +3 engineering research for Riga 1. Our scientists gained experience, and we gained a flat boost of 350 engineering resource. So that's great. Our two allies made an agreement together. So now there's a science station here we can build, which we will, and we're going to send this scientist out ahead to explore. Now, I'm going to explore down here because we want our ally to expand out this way. That's fine. That's what we want. But we don't know if we want him to have this little point. Like, what if there's a planet down here we want? So we're gonna explore down here first, just to see. We don't know. I assume we have open borders with them all. Okay, good. And then we need our other science ship to finish surveying here so we can jump across and claim it. Now this one has 2 trade value in it, which is really nice. It'll be good to connect that to our trade network at some point, but we have 1 planet, not much impressive trade. So this science ship experienced finished, so let's send him over here to explore, because at this point in the game it's all about exploration. We gotta figure out what the galaxy looks like, find things that are useful, expand, colonize, etc, etc. Looks like there's a black hole down there, which will be nice. So let's let that go.
Complete.
And our construction can come over here and claim this station, and then we have secured our expansion, which is nice. I also think, like, once we expand out, it's going to be very pretty. With like the weird intertwining empires. I think this is going to be a really good run. Oh, let's pause, because our capital city, Kanu, it has 1 unemployed person. So now we get to talk about planet stuff a little bit. Oh, interesting. Our governor of this planet apparently really likes slavery. That's charming. yeah, anyway, let's not dwell on that fact. So we have one unemployed person. You don't want people to be unemployed because if they're unemployed for too long, they'll eventually turn to crime, which we kind of want to avoid. And there's a lot of things we can do. So there's districts you can build on your planets, agricultural districts, which add 2 housing and 2 farmer jobs. Make food, obviously. Mining districts, which provide also 2 housing and 2 mining jobs for gathering minerals, which minerals are used to build most things on your planets, and minerals are turned into things like alloys, which you need for building ships. Generator district, same thing, 2 plus 2 housing plus 2 technical jobs. The technical jobs produce energy. And then finally, we have city districts, which provide plus 5 housing, but only 1 clerk job. And clerk jobs turn into create trade value and amenities. Amenities are basically things that make your population happy. So you want to try and keep positive amenities on your planet, and the more excess you have, the happier they're going to be. Right now, we have a stability of 60, which is perfectly reasonable. There's 29 people on the planet, no crime. Well, that's okay. There's plus 30 crime, but there's minus 25 from people being employed and minus 6 from governor skill, which works out to a net of no crime. We currently have 5 housing, or available 5 housing, 3 extra amenities, no available jobs, and 1 unemployed person. So on top of building districts, which gives you housing and jobs, which can be important, you can also build buildings, which gives you a variety of bonuses. Administrative offices, which are really useful. They provide administrative capacity. So I kind of talked in the first episode, and it's this counter up here. You only have the capacity of 50. This is sort of an abstracted concept on the fact that it's difficult to organize a large empire. It's difficult to manage all the people and all the planets, etc., etc. So you need people focused on doing that. You need a government system, right? So we have a sprawl of 31 sprawl is what it's called, and a cap of 50. If we build an administrative office, we increase that. Alloy foundry produces alloys, which you turn into stations, ships, etc. We're going to need those. Monuments, which produce society, research, and unity by taking consumer goods. Civilian industries, which takes minerals and makes consumer goods. You'll notice there's a lot of this makes this, which then you make this with. Consumer zones, which just gives you clerk jobs, which produce trade value and amenities. They're useful. Holo theaters, unity and amenities. Luxury residence gives you housing and amenities. There's all sorts of options. Research labs, which take consumer goods and turn them into research points. Strongholds, which gives you naval capacity and defense. There's a lot going on here, and let's not dwell on it too much. I am a little conflicted, though. Because of how aggressive we are, we're probably going to need more alloys. But I'm not sure I'm ready for that. Consumer goods are always a problem, so it might be good to get a second one going of those. And research is research. It would be nice to get more research going. I think I'm going to start with the civilian industry, though, because the research takes consumer goods and makes research points. So let's get more consumer goods to turn into other things. So I think what we'll probably do is this, then an alloy. This, then a research, then an alloy, maybe? It's hard to say. It's also really good to make planets dedicated to doing one thing. Your capital is your capital, and it can multitask, and it's always that. But your other planets can specialize, and if you specialize, you get bonuses. So what we'll probably want, if we manage to expand enough, is get one planet dedicated to making alloy, one planet as the administrative center of the solar system, or our empire, stuff like that. So once that's done building, there will be a job for that unemployed guy. This is a easy or routine difficulty anomaly that will only take 120 months. I probably should leave this be as well, but I don't have... Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll research it, because when we construct, which our constructor is doing here, it takes influence points, and we are only gaining 2 per month. So we might not be able to expand that fast anyway. So maybe the scientists might as well explore. We got another tradition, so we continue our expansion one, or research that as well. Star bases cost less influence. We were just talking about how they cost influence, and influence is hard to get, so that is great. And this one is colonies begin with 1 additional population. Also great, we have no planets to colonize right now, so let's grab the cheaper to expand. And then we'll keep letting this roll on through. Waiting for things to happen.
Secured.
We got to research, so let's see what we can do now. We can get faster building of the basic ship, which we're not too aggressive yet. Basic ship has more hull points. I mean, all good. Mining station output, I think that's the one, because that's going to increase how much minerals we get and stuff like that. So also unlocks the Nebula refinery for our space stations. We'll dwell into that another day.
Complete.
Excellent. So this is built. So let's build mining stations here, and let's build research stations here. Love's labor lost. Having decrypted the signal, Gajim was astonished to discover it was broadcasting an arcane form of one of the main Batnar-Ka languages, speaking in these, thous, and whenceforths. It appears to be reciting one of the lost works of Galak, a renowned Vatnar-Ka playwright who lived some 600 years ago. So, wonderful news. Dismantle the recording. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Dismantle the recording across the nation. That seems like I'm reading that wrong. And regardless, that gives us 200 unity, which is awesome. That would give us 200 unity towards getting our next tradition. Or, because we can do this because we are xenophiles, we can go, a gift, we must find a way to thank our mysterious benefactors. This gives us 60 months of plus 100% attraction to being xenophiles and plus 10% happiness. That is a really strong bonus, but we are I'm thinking I like the unity better. We're authoritarian. Who cares about people happy, right? That's might be horrible, but that's how we're rolling for this particular game. Right, when I come back to this game for another video series, we'll play happy people, so I seem like less of a monster. Issues. So we found some ancient ruins. We can translate them. Another thing in the log. I'm gonna come in here and just mark it as to track, so it appears on the map for me, and I remember to do it.
Communications.
The Galactic Law League wishes. Oh, I wasn't paused. That's a very hard. We're gonna leave that one for now. It's gonna take a long time to do. So our ally here wants a migration treaty, which means my people can migrate over to his planets, and his people can migrate over to my planets. I'm going to say no, mainly because I don't want his equality people in my empire quite yet. I need a better foothold before I let people with that mindset into my empire. Also, and perhaps the much more important reason, it takes influence to hold these treaties. You can see I'm consuming 0.5 for being in a federation and 0.12 for having the research agreement. So I don't. This will probably be another, I don't know, 0.25 or something if I remember right. But we want this to expand. So we're going to decline. It was very nice of you to offer. We appreciate it. It's very thoughtful, but we're good. I'm also tempted to take this one to stop, to like kind of separate our empires better, have nicer borders. We'll see how we feel. I would like, I think, another survey ship.
Construction complete.
To survey out better.
Anomaly found.
Is exploring, and we'll research that. And then we can concentrate more on doing the the anomalies that appear because we have more variety. So there, oh, let's pause. We got our new one. Let's get ourselves a new leader. Research doesn't help. Research doesn't help. Survey speed, fantastic. We'll recruit him and send him out to explore that way. Now this science ship is done. Now just because we want to know if we want to expand down here, we're going to skip that and we're going to come and survey in here, and then we'll just shift click to tell him to come back and research so I don't forget to do that. We have a bunch of alerts that our leaders have gained levels, which is fine. Anomalies were found, which is fine. Our construction ship, let's just have him wait. We don't know if we're going to try and grab those bottom two right now. We're in less of an expansion rust. And by rust, I mean rush. Towed asteroid. For some reason, someone has towed an asteroid into a stable orbit around this planet. The massive engine sections and braking thrusters can still be found on the surface. So there's a place that gains +3 engineering research, which is fantastic. Let's pause. Let's have a little chat, because I should take a look at my policies. So policies are, well, you know, empire policies. So right now our diplomatic stance is set to expansionist. It's cheaper to expand, we build colonies faster, but we are higher border friction. The people next to us are get a little grumpy. That's fine, we're in a federation with them. So that's what we want for now, because we are in the expansion phase of the game. Suprematist diplomatic stance. It harms relationships with all other empires, but it gives you a bunch of bonuses. Your people don't get as exhausted with wars quickly. You can have more ships. Making claims on other empires is cheaper, and you get a significant increase in diplomatic weight from your fleet power. We'll probably end up in this stance at some point. Isolationists, basically you look inwardly and you don't talk to people. Cooperative, you're very you work with the people around you, but harming relationships is difficult. Belligerent. You attempt to bully weaker empires into submission. Gives you less bonuses but less penalties than the supremacist one. So we're going to stay on expansionist. Our war philosophy is unrestricted wars right now. The three of you can either be defensive, liberate, or unrestricted. We want unrestricted because we'll probably attack people. Orbital bombardments. We are indiscriminate, which means we don't mind if we hit civilians. We have the right to resettle. There's a bunch of these. Let's not go through them all. I just wanted to check first contact protocol. We are aggressive, which means we will be able to go to war very quickly with them, and a little less friendly when we meet. But we begin with the initial border status of open, which I don't think is what our sort of empire would feel like, right? We're xenophiles. We like people, but we believe in the one empire. We believe in our empire and our federation. I think we'll want it closed, which means when we meet someone, they won't immediately be able to enter our territory. And because we're a little less trusting, they're not trusting. And there's a bunch of stuff like food policies, economic policies. You know, we're based on military, so we make slightly less consumer goods and we make slightly more alloys, right? There's a bunch of stuff like this to tweak how your empire runs. And it also affects how other cultures like you. For example, the fact that we are willing to harm civilians in orbital bombardments means that peaceful countries or empires will be like, no, you don't kill civilians. That's not okay. And they'll dislike us just on principle.
Star system charted.
Which is fair. So we got one guy going to explore up there. Let's explore this way. Because generally you want to expand into the choke points as quickly as possible, because you can come back later and fill in the ones you missed. But if you don't expand out fast enough, another empire might take the territory. You know, I probably could have been unpaused during all that, but oh well. Okay, my allies made a migration treaty between each other. Another tradition. Now we have another choice. Do we want that +1 pop when we colonize? Do we want star bases to be cheaper to maintain? Keep in mind, there is a star base in every territory we own. It's a basic one. It's just sitting there to claim it. But it's still there. And we can expand those into big you know, ones that can actually fight and all that later, but you know, but now they're just tiny ones. Or we can reduce the effect of empire sprawl on our nation. I'm gonna the upkeep is tempting, but I'm gonna get the colony one because I'm hoping this planet here is colonizable, and so that +1 will be helpful if we do that. But we're still just waiting to see
secured.
what happens down here. Oh, we got another tech bonus to research stations. Okay, so this time we can unlock the energy grid, which is a building. It's not a district, if you remember back, but it's a building that we can create that gives us more technician jobs. But more importantly, gives you a plus 15% bonus to all technicians generating you energy credits. So it's a good building and very helpful. And really good if we make a planet dedicated to just power. The downside is it has capacity overload. Oh no, that's not a downside. I'm sorry. The other bonus is you get this edict where we can spend influence to get a 13-year monthly bonus to energy credits. We can grab the research station output again. We can grab blue lasers, so better guns for our ships. There's multiple type of weapons and etc, etc. We'll get into that later. I'm gonna stick with the research station output. We don't need the energy credits yet. I think that's just the best one.
Star system charted.
So he finished there and he found an anomaly. So we'll have him research that. So now we know that these two systems, like +4 energy credits, it's not amazing. +3 minerals and +2 physics science. They're not great systems. We will just leave that to our ally and expand down this way. Because this way, 6 engineering research, 2 energy credits, but there's a lot more options for us this way, right? Expanding down here gets us kind of crummy systems and nothing else. Expanding this way, we can expand out further. So let's come and build here. And hopefully this planet has something useful in it. But I think that's a good place to... Oh, let's just take a look at the research. Oh, that's our pop growth speed. So our population now grows as fast as normal civilizations. We have the -10 penalty from being slow breathers and the +10 bonus, 10% bonus because we have messed around with our genomes. So that's good. We can develop off-world trading companies, which is nice because when you build star bases, the bigger ones later on, which we will... basically, for trade, you'll want to have more powerful star bases that can project power along your trade routes to stop piracy. And this lets you take advantage of that by putting trading companies on them and getting trade value for those star bases. So it helps out, but we don't need it quite yet. We can get hydroponic farms and hydroponic bays, more food, which is useful. And we can grab the planetary unification, which gives us +2 unity and an edict, or a bunch more edicts. Let's grab that one. Unity is useful at this point. And let's call this episode there. So thank you everyone for watching, and I hope to see you in the next episode where we will continue to expand. Then the first few episodes are going to be us expanding. We'll try and pick up the pace though.